Hello, there are a few things left to go over in Word before we continue on. We've got a little bit of text on the screen, so it'll help us to learn what we need to do. The first thing I want to do is to insert a header. Now you know how to insert headers because you've done that quite a few times. Remember, you can double click at the top of the page and it'll insert the header, or you can go to Insert Header. Now there may be a time when you need to use a specific header. I know you guys want to go to building blocks, but not everything in building blocks is in header. But the first place I want you to look in is under header. And then if you can't find it there, go to more headers from office.com. And you'll find that there may be a couple more. So remember, if you're looking for it, it's not in building blocks, go into header itself and see if you can find it. When you add the header, it allows you to now give the document a title or to do whatever the header wants to do. So now we have our header. Headers have different tools. So if you look, you now have a header and footer tool, which will allow you to do a few things. Okay, for now we're done with the header. So we're going to close it. And we're going to come back to this in a little bit. We want to insert a picture. So let's go. And you guys know how to insert the picture. We go to Insert. We go to Picture. Of course, you know my favorite picture to insert is Bob. So there's my Bob picture. We insert a picture. Now this is way too big. If you look, the size of Bob, while Bob is cute, Bob is a little bit big. I can resize by clicking on him and pulling the little handles. You also have your size toolbars here, so you can go in here, and if you click here, notice how it keeps him the same size, but now he's becoming a slightly more manageable size. Now I don't really want him to leave this big bunch of white space. So I'm going to text wrap, and there are a whole bunch of different text wraps I can use, and if you mouse over, it'll show you what they do. I've decided that I want him to be kind of in a type, so if I were to move him, the words still go all the way around him in some way, shape, or form. Now, you have a position bar here as well. Now if you look with the text wrapping, you can put it in line with text. You can put it in the corners, center, each one of these, and don't forget you always have key tips. So if you see, this says position in middle center with square text wrapping. So if I look, it says position in top center with square text wrapping. If I click on that, and I look, he's in the top center with text wrap. I also have picture styles. What your picture style is going to do is generally do a border. It may do some different effects on how you want him to look or your picture to look. We have color over here. If you look, saturation, and it does still have key tips. It'll change the way the picture looks. You can change the temperature, but if you look, it changes the color on the picture when you key over. You also can recolor pictures, so you have some options when you do a picture. Next thing, since we've written a short little story, I want to add a drop cap. So in order to insert a drop cap, I go in, usually at the beginning, and I look under text options and insert this drop cap. Now you have some choices. So now we get this fancy O. And this is actually movable and resizable. Okay, as you can see, I've added a page border. Now we're going to go to view real quick and look at the way it looks. And now if you look, it doesn't look too bad, but if you look, it looks kind of funny with the header outside the page border. I want to move that back into the page border. I need to go back into my header. So if you remember, I can just double click and go back. Now with that being done, I can actually drag this down here and put it underneath. So now when I come out, my header is now within the options. And remember, you have proofing options. You can check those out. I just wanted to remind you they were there, along with some other options. Remember, this is where you went to show readability statistics, so you can figure out what the grade level was of what you had written. If I wanted to hyperlink, so let's take this lovely story, because I want to hyperlink to, let's say I want to hyperlink to my page. You would go under Insert, and there's a thing called Hyperlink. A hyperlink just takes whatever you're doing. If you hyperlink it, and you do it correctly, it tells you can do a control click, and it'll actually bring you to whatever place you've hyperlinked to. You can hyperlink to a document, or you can hyperlink to another place or another file. There's a way to protect the document. First of all, we're going to look at it. If you go into review, you can restrict editing. You get a choice. You can say limit formatting of a selection to certain styles. Usually what you would do is go into edit restrictions. You click start enforcing. It gives you a chance to put in a password. You may also password protect by going to the backstage area. And you see where it says protect document? You can encrypt with a password which would protect it. So you sometimes, if you're going to be sending a document to somebody, you don't want them to be able to edit it, you would use a password. The final thing I want to show you is something called SmartArt. To do that, we're going to need a new document. If you go into Insert, and we haven't done SmartArt, SmartArt is a way to create charts. And we're going to create a basic chart. Okay. This is a hierarchical chart. If you hold on, I'm going to go into one I've already created. Okay, here's a SmartArt that I've already gone in and typed. All it was a hierarchical chart called Table Hierarchy. And it is my family tree. My dad, my brother and sister, and me. Children. There's some errors in this, and I put that deliberately so I could show you how to move things. So the first thing I want to show you is you've got color changes. You can make it different colors. You can go in here, you can recolor. So we're going to make it different colors so that you can have a better idea and see how it looks. Now the first thing I want to show you is, this is my brother's family. Jessica is out of order. If you move up or down, that changes their order. Because she is under Jim, and let me show you a different way. If you look, this way is easier to see. Because she was under Jim, I might want to move her up. Moving her up just means I'm moving her up in the order. Actually, Josh is the second born. And if you look here, if you've ever heard me talk, you know I don't have 3 kids. I have 2. Which means one of my brothers accidentally gets stuck here. We're going to fix him in a moment. But if you've listened to me talk, JD is my oldest child. And we've got a few here that we need to fix. Remember, move up, move down changes their order on the same level. Kara is almost. So now we've got that. But what are we going to do about Kevin? Because Kevin is actually not my child. He belongs to my father. Promote moves them up the chart. I wanted him to be equal with my dad. Now it looks like he's got children of his own. So on here, we're not going to spend a lot of time with this. This is great if you're trying to create an organizational chart for some reason. You might want to go in and play with some of these settings. You've got a lot of different choices you can make, or how it looks, depending on how you want it to look. And it's something to be aware of that's here if you ever need to create a graphic organizer. Last thing I want to show you is comments. In review, you have a lot of different features we haven't had a chance to go over. One is to show comments. I haven't added comments. You can add a new comment. So a way to go in and do that is we've got show comments shown. If you look, it's right there. You can add comments if for somebody or edit a paper. You can go in and you could write comments of things you think they should change. If you have any questions, feel free to see me. Otherwise, good luck.